By the time my father told me to leave, it didn't even feel like a fight. Fights have heat. This was colder than that. Familiar. Procedural. "You're a useless failure," he said, the words landing with the dull certainty of something rehearsed over years rather than spoken in anger. My mother didn't interrupt. She rarely did. Silence had always been her preferred contribution to conflict, not agreement exactly, but never resistance either. I stood in the kitchen, hands resting lightly against the back of a chair I didn't remember pulling out. There were dishes drying by the sink. The television murmured faintly from the living room. Ordinary background noise for a conversation that, apparently, was meant to redefine my living situation. "You're 32, my father continued, still drifting, still nothing. It's interesting how easily families compress entire lives into single words. "I'm working," I said. He laughed, not loudly, not cruelly, just dismissively, which somehow felt worse. "Working," he repeated. "At what?" "Your laptop." My career had always been invisible to them, not because it was secretive, but because it didn't resemble anything they recognized. No office building. No uniform. No predictable hierarchy they could point to with pride at dinner parties. To them, legitimacy required visual confirmation. Pay stubs hadn't helped, neither had explanations. "Go live in the streets if you want to play adult," he said finally. That was the closest thing to a climax. No shouting, no dramatic gestures. Just a decision delivered like a verdict. My mother shifted slightly in her chair. A micro-expression of discomfort, quickly neutralized. I waited. Some reflex from childhood still expected the softening line. The corrective amendment. It never came, and in that absence, something inside me reorganized. Not hurt. Not rage, clarity. I nodded once, almost professionally. "Okay," I said. My father blinked, as if resistance had been assumed, perhaps even desired. "That's it?" he asked. There was a strange disappointment in his voice. I allowed myself a small smile, not smug, not bitter. "That's it?" Upstairs, I packed with the efficiency of someone checking out of a hotel. Clothes, laptop, documents. The practical architecture of a portable life, no slamming drawers, no symbolic pauses. When I walked past them toward the door, neither stood. No one said goodbye. Outside, the air felt unchanged, which struck me as mildly offensive. You expect the universe to acknowledge these moments. A shift in weather. A dramatic gust of wind. Instead, traffic moved. Neighbors watered lawns. Somewhere, a dog barked at nothing in particular. I drove to my apartment downtown. The one they assumed was temporary, modest, vaguely precarious. Technically, it was temporary. Just not for the reasons they believed. 3 weeks passed. Distance has a peculiar effect on memory. Certain conversations grow sharper. Others dissolve into abstraction. I didn't call. Neither did they. The intersection came through something so mundane it almost felt comedic. A property acquisition. My investment firm had finalized the purchase of several aging commercial buildings, one of which housed a mid-sized manufacturing company, my parents' company. I didn't recognize the name immediately. It surfaced during a routine portfolio review, buried among spreadsheets and projections. Then the address registered, followed by a slow, disorienting recognition. Life, apparently, has a sense of timing. The meeting request arrived days later. Executive-level discussion. Restructuring implications. Standard corporate choreography. I considered delegating, then decided not to. The conference room was aggressively neutral, glass walls, controlled lighting, furniture designed to communicate seriousness without personality. My parents entered with their management team. My mother saw me first. Her steps faltered. Not dramatically. Just enough to fracture the rhythm of the room. My father's reaction came half a second later. Confusion, recognition, then something more complex. A rapid recalibration of reality. "You," he said. No accusation. No warmth. Just disbelief struggling to locate context. The legal representative beside me spoke smoothly. "As discussed, our firm will be overseeing the transition." Our firm. Such an impersonal phrase for something that, in that moment, felt almost intimate. My father looked between me and the documents on the table. "This is some kind of mistake," he said. "It isn't," I replied. My voice surprised even me, even measured, devoid of theatrical weight. The authority in the room wasn't mine personally. It belonged to structure, contracts, ownership, institutional reality, the one language my father had always respected. No one raised their voice. No one needed to. The meeting proceeded with professional restraint. Projections, efficiency models, operational adjustments. My existence, suddenly, required no explanation. Only acknowledgement. Afterward, my parents lingered. The room felt larger without witnesses. "You never told us," my mother said quietly. I studied her face, searching for accusation, apology, understanding. Finding none of them cleanly. "I tried," I answered. My father shifted uncomfortably, a man accustomed to authority now standing inside someone else's. "So what now?" he asked. "It wasn't about business." "Not entirely." I considered the question. There are moments that invite grand speeches, cinematic declarations, emotional reckoning. This wasn't one of them. "Now," I said, "things are just different." Because they were. Not victorious. Not reconciled. Just undeniably, irreversibly different.